Hello, everyone. Welcome to the new season of the Digital Adoption Show. There are already 5 episodes live, and I'm sure you're really enjoying what's happening in season 3. I'm your host for the episode, Tamanna Chanana, and I head the global growth marketing here at Whatfix. And today's episode is all about getting the job done. Interesting, isn't it? Since its origin is from marketing and innovation, I have all my ears here. So I'm really excited to host Ger Driesen, who is a learning innovation leader at a NewSpring. He connects people, ideas, and innovation in the global L&D community. In this role, he focuses on sharing the latest insights with L&D professionals to inspire them to design, develop, and deliver learning the best way. He also works as a consultant at Challenge Leadership Development Academy, the company he co-founded, and he's a regular speaker at international conferences. Welcome to the show, Ger.
Thank you, Tamanna. Great
Yeah,
that you invited me. Yeah.
the pleasure is all ours, and I'm sure this episode would really be fun. So to start with, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself, your experience as an L&D professional, the organizations you have worked with, and your journey so far in the L&D space?
Yeah, I'm happy to do so. And it's about 30 years now. Whoa.
Whoa.
Means I'm an old man now, but with a young mind, let's say. Huh? So I now work for a NewSpring. That's a blended learning platform focused on training providers.
Yeah.
We call it an LMS with a capital L. So it's focused on creating great blended learning experiences. And I'm in this role now for 6.5 years as learning innovation leader. And in my role, I like to share insights and ideas with the community and also get ideas and insights from the community back into the company. And besides that, already for 20 years, I'm also partly self-employed as a leadership trainer and skills trainer.
Yeah.
And I started my career at a Dutch technical company, and then moved to Fuji Photo Film as a training manager, Japanese company, but their Dutch branch. But it was very exciting to work in a Japanese company and to learn a lot about the Japanese approaches there. So yeah, my whole career I have been in L&D so far, and I hope to do so many more years.
Wow, interesting. 30 years. What I think now is I'm not even of that age. So pretty long time. Amazing. I think so. It's great to see people sharing their experience in terms of the years, especially because that is how you actually see the entire shift that what happened 30 years back. So pretty interesting to know all the facts.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Coming back to this episode for a quick round of rapid fire. And I'm sure our listeners really love this round because we try to make it very fun and we try to cheer up our audience with these questions. Okay, the first question comes here. Would you rather be invisible or be able to read minds?
Oh, that would both be very exciting, I think. But I would choose invisible, I guess. Read minds can be very interesting, but I think it also could be very scary. So I'll go for invisible.
Okay. How would you train an elephant who loves to jump?
Yeah. Whoa. I think I would try to use music to do the training. So, but I was prepared a little bit for this question, and I found out there is a website. It's called elephantguide.com.
Oh,
It really exists, and they say that elephants are not able to jump. But of course, we don't believe that. If we didn't test it ourselves, so I would try to do it with music, using music.
have you seen any kind of Harry Potter series? Because there it says that if you have to train any animal, music is the best therapy. So
Ah,
maybe
I didn't know. Good guess. Good guess. Then
coming back to the third question of this round, one of the dumbest thing you have ever done. I would really love to know this.
Yeah, it's a great question. And, we organized a few times an event that's called LFU. It's
Mm-hmm.
called Learning Failures United. And we invite the crowd at our office and they share their failures. And of course, somebody has to start. And mostly I was the one who started the show. So what was a dumb thing for me that I was a communication trainer
Mm-hmm.
and started the training. And after the introduction, there was a little break, and I said, "Okay, it now is a break for coffee or tea, and then when you come back, we will also use a video for the training." And then there was one guy who said, "Well, I don't do video," and I thought, "Okay, I'm an experienced trainer," so I said, "Oh, don't worry. I can imagine that's a bit strange to be on video yourself, but believe me, everybody at the end says it's the most powerful learning experience that they have on video. So please take a coffee or tea and come back." But then he came over to me and said, "Okay, just one more thing. I don't do video." I said, "Okay, please tell me why." And he said, "I have been a prisoner of war and I
Mm-hmm.
was captured in a cave for 10 days with
Mm-hmm.
a video recorder on one side and a Kalashnikov on the other side. So I'm not sure how I will react if you do so." So I was quite shocked that I was a bit stubborn there. So,
Yeah,
but
I'm
at the
sure.
end, it all went well. So,
Yeah. If I imagine myself, there would be a big question mark. Why did I even ask this guy?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right?
But I was happy that he told me a bit more of the
Yeah.
details. But yeah, I felt dumb at that time. Yeah,
No, I'll say that was the learning with the crowd rather than being a dumbest thing. But yeah, I think so that's how you create value for people. If people
yeah,
are very comfortable with you as a speaker, they'll come and tell you what is the problem. So
exactly. Yeah.
I think so that was your strength rather than your dumbest idea. Okay, the last question of this round is here. What would you do with your 14 minutes of fame?
Yes, I think if any way possible, I would try to stop the war in Ukraine.
Uh,
I I read and listen podcasts about it every day, and it's horrible. So it would be so nice if it could be stopped. I think I won't be able to, but if I could use this 5 10 minutes of fame uh,
mhm.
to to uh, to try, I would do so.
Wow, that's very humble of you. And a lot of people just read about it, but there's nothing that anyone wants to do. But great, I think so. Thank you so much for this sweet little fun round and ending it up with a very cute note. So, anyway, let's talk about the business now. Since I said in the starting of the episode that we'll talk about getting the jobs done. So there are three proven hacks that you're going to talk about and how empathy matters the most for learning experience design. So coming back to the business, Ger, you have more than 30 years of experience. That is 3 decades. And
Mhm.
how does it feel like seeing the new era of L&D evolving with tools, tricks, shortcuts, and whatnot?
Yeah, it's really exciting, and every time new things pop up, and you think, "Wow, this is amazing," and it's so new, and it always gives nice opportunities. And I'm looking forward every time something new pops up to see how
Mhm.
can we really use it and make learning and of course work better and more productive, so and more easy.
Yeah.
And so when I started, I think when I started 30 years ago, that was all about the digital adoption, because then PCs were brought into the workplace.
Yeah.
People can't imagine anymore, but we were very proud to have our own PC in those days, and we
Wow.
didn't have email yet. So
Mhm.
so as a training internal training consultant, a lot of my work had to do with organizing and facilitating all kind of PC software training.
Mhm.
And of course then later on the internet came, etc. So yeah, and it moves on, and I think every time it's even more exciting what pops up, like AI in these days. So yeah, don't want to miss anything about that.
Exactly. I think so. As you see what happened 30 years back and versus what is happening now, the pace of learning has really increased.
Yeah, the pace of everything has increased.
Exactly. Do you think that the new evolution is good or it's not something that should have happened or it should be at a stable pace?
No, it happens, and it's in itself, it's neutral, I would say. It's the way we use technology that makes it good or bad.
Yeah.
And it's okay that people are scared, because we also need people who are scared and who warn us for the downsides of it. And of
Yeah.
course, it's also good to have the positive people to try to apply in the right way.
Hmm.
And as long as there is a balance in that, I think it's just fine.
True. Totally agree with you. One of the article that I saw on your LinkedIn post talks about job to be done. That is called JTBD approach. How
Yeah.
much is relevant from a professional perspective and how individuals can also learn from it?
Yeah, so it originates from marketing and innovation literature.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but jobs to be done really is about a focused empathy approach. And it starts with the thinking that people try to achieve things in their life. And
Mm-hmm.
if we can tap into that and understand really what they are trying to achieve, and
Mm-hmm.
also what the gains are that they are looking for, and what the pains are that they experience in that endeavor, then we can use that empathy to design solutions that optimize the gains and minimize the pains.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And yeah, um, I think that's a very important thing for designers to realize that, and to create solutions that are based on good analysis of these parts of how people are trying to get their jobs done.
Wow. Can you just share some example here? I think so it will be very relevant for the audience.
Um, yeah, so the most well-known example is a little video by Clayton Christensen, and I should say look it up on YouTube. It's
Mm-hmm.
a very interesting video where he talks about milkshakes,
Okay.
and he did a job on how to improve sales for milkshakes,
Mm-hmm.
and marketing departments asked their customers, would you like it in a different way, thicker, thinner, chunkier, different flavors, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And all this information was used to create new types of milkshakes, but the sales didn't increase. And so
Okay.
they took a different approach, and they went to the restaurant and saw that a quart of all milkshakes, or maybe half of all milkshakes, were sold early in the morning.
Okay.
And they dove a little bit deeper in that, and they saw that most of the people were commuters
Mm-hmm.
stopping at the restaurant, only picking up a milkshake, and then drove on again. And
Okay.
so they started interviewing these people,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a typical way of asking a jobs to be done question. They asked,
Okay.
why did you hire this milkshake? Well, what did you hire this milkshake for?
Yeah.
And um, at the end, they found out that all those commuters, they had a dull commute, and
Mm-hmm.
they want to be entertained one way or another. And they also want to prevent that they would arrive hungry at their work. So the milkshake does that job in the best way for them,
Wow.
because it's thick, it needs time to digest it,
Mm-hmm.
and it gives you enough so that you can survive until lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And so the innovation was that they made the straws a bit thinner, so that it lasted even a longer time to consume the milkshake. So that's a very different approach than for innovation. And also you can think of make it easier for the clients to pick up only a milkshake. That would also be a possibility for innovation. So
Wow.
it's that kind of approach. Of course, that one is not related to learning, but
Mhm.
I tested quite some approaches to learning, and learning people very much appreciate this way of looking at things. So
I think so. It's more to do with if you know what is the problem and how to solve it, that's a altogether a big learning experience. And
yeah,
in fact, when you gave me this example, I could relate it to something that we do in marketing as well. There are a lot of campaigns that we do where, at times, what we have to do is we have to innovate those processes based on what is the response that we are getting. And trust me, there are times when we really fail. And the kind of campaigns that we were doing, the kind of communication that we were doing, I think so, they were not working for us. But on a later stage, when we actually realize, go back and see the entire thing, what we did, we actually realized that the problem was in the starting because we never considered our customers for that. If we
yeah,
don't know what is happening at the ground level, how can you imagine us bringing up some random ideas to the picture and people will be like, what is this lady doing? Or why are we even considering the ideas these are coming from?
yes,
So,
exactly. And I think the same goes for learning design. If we don't know the jobs that people are trying to accomplish,
yeah,
then how can we do our best jobs? Huh?
true. That's a fair fact. And I think so that's how we relate marketing and learning together.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And I would like to know what are the different types of GTBD approaches because this is very interesting.
Yes. So that's an important question. And so jobs to be done has four different types of jobs to be done. The first is called the functional jobs to be done,
Hmm.
and that's related to the tasks or to the job that people want to accomplish. That's more the rational approach.
Yeah.
Let's say you work in a hospital and you have to take a blood sample of a patient, then that would be the functional job to be done.
Hmm.
But it becomes much more interesting that related to that functional job to be done, there are also emotional jobs to be done and social jobs to be done.
Hmm.
And the emotional job to be done is how a person is feeling or feels during or just after doing the functional job.
Okay.
And so I think it's very important that we also tie this emotional part to the functional job to be done and also the rational part. And the other one is a social job to be done, and that is how people are perceived when they are doing the job.
Hmm.
It's more about status and yeah, how people look at you as a professional.
Okay.
And of course, everybody who is a professional likes to be seen as a good professional while doing their job
Yeah.
and not as a beginner or something like that. Uh, and then the fourth one is the consumption chain jobs to be done. And that has more to do with how easy or how hard it is to have access to the solution.
Yeah.
So the consumption chain job to be done is we like to create it in a way that it's most easiest to have access to the solution that we created.
Okay. Got it. I think so. There are a lot of facts if we consider these types of GTPD approaches because it is relevant to different kind of personas that we are looking for here, if
Mm.
I'm not wrong. Based on the jobs that you are doing, the different types of approaches apply.
Yeah, and personas is one way to look at it, but in my experience, personas are quite often quite generic.
Hmm.
And so jobs to be done really ties a person to the job that they have to do, and that makes it more relevant.
Yeah. So, what do you think some of the hacks would be around this empathetic approach that you were talking about? Being the, since you said that it is the core of this learning experience design, what should people really focus on in terms of empathy?
Yes, I think empathy in general sounds nice, but for a designer, you have to look at the empathy that really matters. And so with jobs to be done, you can tie the person to the job that they are trying to accomplish, and that makes the empathy a bit more relevant, quite a bit more relevant. That's the first hack. So never look at the person not connected to a job that they want to accomplish, but always connected to the job that they try to accomplish. That's the first hack.
Yeah.
And the second hack is also keep in mind these emotional and social aspects of trying to get a job done, because they are there. And maybe sometimes at work we don't think too much about the emotional and social parts of work and getting jobs done, but they are there and they can play an important role. So also having an eye for those emotional and social aspects is very important, I guess, and gives a deeper level of empathy.
Got that. Anything else that you have in mind?
Yeah, I think doing interviews to really understand what people try to accomplish is very important. And it seems very hard every time to really ask an open-ended question and also with an open mind and to really listen to the answer. And I found out that if you use the word exactly in your question, what is it exactly that you are worried about, or what is hard for you, then it opens up a very different level of answers. So that's a kind of hack that also works quite well for me. That's just an example for now. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. This episode is really getting interesting, and especially the approach and how you can link that to empathy. It's a great way to see how people and how jobs are considered in today's world. What do you think can this approach help in building a better relationship with the technology and employees? Because there's no setback that is gonna come. There's upskilling that's gonna happen. What do you think that this technology, this approach can actually help in terms of building better relationship
Yeah,
among?
I think the key word here is relationship. And I think coming back to my previous answers, that we also have to take into account that introducing new technology or adopting technology also isn't only a rational thing. It's also that there are emotional and social components attached to it. And if we have a clear eye also on these emotional and social components, I think that would really be helpful for digital adoption.
That's a fair point because a lot of times people find that difficult. What do you think digital adoption can help make this relationship build stronger with these approaches if we consider that?
Yes, I think if we combine them, digital adoption related to jobs to be done, to the functional jobs, but also taking into account the other jobs to be done, I think that would be really a fruitful combination.
It's gonna be a fun thing to look for in the coming times if that is something that someone really implements. Or maybe you can come up with that approach, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. So here comes to the end of another episode of the Digital Adoption Show. Any parting thoughts, Ger, for the audience?
Yes, of course. If you want to try to apply it, please do so. Maybe you can add the link to the LinkedIn post in the show notes. And it's always nice when people reach out to me and ask me for help, because then I can also learn back from them again with their case, etc. So, audience, feel free to connect, and hope to see you somewhere around sometimes.
Yeah, also Ger is available for at a lot of learning training conferences and different international conferences. So go meet him up. Thank you so much again for coming to this episode. And it has been really amazing to know your insights and learn from you, from the experience that you have. So here comes to the end of the another episode of the Digital Adoption Show. Listen to this episode, have some fun, and wait for the next episode that are gonna come up. Stay tuned. Do share your feedback on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and wherever you like or wherever you're listening. And do share some of the feedbacks that you would like us to incorporate in the coming shows. Thank you. Bye bye.